This video brings an urgent message that Jesus specifically wants you to hear. He has been trying to show you that a new house has been sealed under your name, but he's concerned you might miss this divine provision. This isn't just another spiritual video. It contains a revelation about your future home that many overlook every day. There's an old woman who holds the key to this blessing, and Jesus cares so deeply about your housing situation that he would be disappointed if you dismiss this critical sign without understanding its importance. The message you're about to receive has been carefully arranged to reach you at this exact moment when you need it most. There's a divine appointment happening right now as you watch. Don't scroll away, because what you're about to learn could change everything about your living situation and finally give you the home you've been praying for. This isn't an ordinary spiritual message. It's a divine alert about a house that represents a critical turning point in your housing journey. Jesus has been watching your struggles with rent, housing costs, and your dream of home ownership with loving attention, noticing both your faith and your moments of doubt about ever having your own place. Missing this particular sign about the house sealed under your name could mean overlooking a special provision that's been prepared just for you. This house blessing marks a limited time, spiritual window that's opening in your life right now. Jesus cares so deeply about your housing needs that he would be genuinely concerned if you failed to recognize this opportunity. That's why this message found you today. Your attention to this video isn't by chance. It's a divinely orchestrated moment designed to help you see what has been placed directly in your path. The old woman connected to this house has been waiting for the right moment to make this blessing available to you. Every prayer you've whispered about needing a better living situation has been heard. Every worry about rent money and housing costs has been collected. All the times you've walked past beautiful homes and wondered if you'd ever own one, yet continue to trust God anyway, have been honored. Your housing struggles haven't gone unnoticed. Those moments when it seemed like everyone else was getting their dream homes while you stayed stuck in the same place, Jesus saw your disappointment. The times when your faith in divine provision felt small, yet you kept believing anyway. That persistence was recognized in heaven. The courage it took to keep trusting when housing seemed impossible has been deeply valued. The dreams you've carried about having your own place, sometimes too big to share with others, have all been acknowledged. The housing path isn't always clear, and divine provision isn't always obvious. Jesus understands this challenge, which is why he's making this particular house blessing so clear you can't possibly miss it. The sign Jesus wants you to recognize about this house appears in everyday moments, but is often overlooked because it seems too simple to be divine communication. This sign shows up in conversations about real estate, in drive, by sightings of for sale signs, and in dreams where you see yourself in a new home. It appears in repeated house numbers that catch your attention, in property listings that speak to your heart, or in sudden thoughts about moving to a better place. This house sign is uniquely meaningful to your specific housing situation, something Jesus has personally selected to grab your attention about your future home. It connects directly to the prayers you've been praying about housing and the living dreams you've been carrying. Jesus chose this particular sign because it speaks to your heart in a language only someone longing for home would fully understand. The old woman who holds this blessing will make herself known through these same signs. When you finally see it, you'll know this house was always meant for you. When you recognize this sign from Jesus about the house sealed under your name, many puzzling aspects of your housing journey will suddenly make perfect sense. Difficult seasons of high rent, housing rejections, and property disappointments will all connect in a beautiful moment of divine clarity about why you had to wait for this specific home. Jesus has wonderful news for you today. Your housing situation is shifting to a higher level, and important changes in your living circumstances are happening around you now. The divine has captured something unique about your housing faith, and now you've been chosen to receive this special home provision. This moment marks something significant in your relationship with divine blessings. It's a clear indication that your faith in God's provision is growing stronger every day. Something incredibly meaningful is unfolding in your housing story, far better than you might have imagined possible. The recognition of this house blessing begins a spiritual awakening that will touch every area of your life, bringing stability and peace you've never experienced before. There's a wave of heavenly attention surrounding your housing needs right now. You're becoming more spiritually attuned to divine provision, naturally drawing housing blessings into your daily experience. Recognizing this sign about the house sealed under your name brings a heightened awareness of Jesus' care for even your most practical needs. More spiritual insights about God's provision will begin flowing to you than ever before. This isn't happening by chance. It's a carefully arranged blessing designed specifically for this season of your housing journey. Your prayers for a home matter more than you realize. Your housing faith inspires heaven to move on your behalf. Your trust during uncertain housing times makes a difference in the spiritual atmosphere around your provision. This divine housing recognition shows that Jesus deeply values your patience and persistence. Each housing disappointment you faced has led you exactly where you need to be for this house blessing. The old woman connected to this provision has been chosen specifically to help you receive what God has prepared. The timing of this house blessing is no coincidence. It appears now because you're spiritually and practically ready to receive it. This precise moment has been divinely chosen because you've grown in faith and housing wisdom through your experiences. Your spiritual eyes are now open enough to see provision that might have been invisible to you before. Your heart has expanded through housing challenges and rental struggles. Your wisdom about what makes a true home has deepened through experience. Your soul is now prepared to receive this divine housing gift more clearly than ever before. All the housing obstacles you faced have been preparation for recognizing this house blessing. Nothing in your housing journey has been wasted. Every apartment, every rental, every housing search has shaped your ability to recognize divine provision when it appears. This particular house blessing is connected to larger spiritual movements of provision happening right now. The old woman who facilitates this blessing has been waiting for exactly this moment, when you're ready to receive what's been prepared for you. If you're feeling blessed by this divine revelation about your new house, please consider sending a super thanks of $5, $10, $20 or more to support our channel's mission of sharing these important housing provision messages. Your generosity helps these divine insights reach those who desperately need to see the housing signs Jesus is revealing. When you give, you participate in a sacred exchange that allows us to continue creating content that connects people with heaven's provision messages in these times when housing seems impossible for so many. As you begin to recognize this sign from Jesus about the house sealed under your name, new awareness of divine provision will naturally develop in your life. This clearer vision brings new responsibilities, not just to yourself, but to everyone God places in your path who might be struggling with their own housing situations. Don't view these responsibilities as burdens, but as sacred opportunities to participate in Jesus' work of provision. This housing revelation signals it's time to step into spiritual maturity about receiving and sharing blessings. Finding balance becomes essential during this provision season, while celebrating this new housing awareness. Remember to nurture your practical faith through prayer, scripture, and community. These spiritual disciplines have shaped who you are and will continue to support you as you grow into this expanded role as someone who recognizes divine provision. Jesus is inviting you to become more than just a receiver of blessings, but a person who helps others see their housing provisions too. As you become sensitive to this divine sign about your house blessing, think about how you can help others who are still missing their housing provisions. Your experience shows that Jesus is constantly providing homes and housing solutions, even when we fail to notice his work in the housing market. Heaven witnesses every moment of housing breakthrough, every recognition of divine provision patterns, and every choice to trust God's timing with housing needs. Your story of recognizing this house blessing brings hope to people feeling stuck in bad housing situations or wondering if God still provides homes today. Your awareness becomes a light that helps others develop eyes to see what Jesus is preparing in their housing futures. This house blessing isn't meant to be a private provision. It's an invitation to help others experience the same housing breakthrough. The old woman connected to your blessing often works with Jesus to help multiple people find their divinely prepared homes. Your housing testimony serves as both personal blessing and community ministry opportunity. As you navigate this new level of housing provision site, stay consistently vigilant for continued blessings. Jesus reminds you that while recognizing one house blessing is wonderful, it's just the beginning of a lifetime of divine provision in all areas of your life. Maintain the spiritual sensitivity that allowed you to see this house sign in the first place. Guard against returning to housing doubt or distraction that made you miss important provision signs in the past. Let your provision awareness continue to flow from genuine faith and daily attention to Jesus' presence in your practical needs. With this new ability to recognize housing blessings comes ongoing responsibility to remain receptive to God's provision timing. Use this gift wisely to discern true divine housing provision from false housing promises or get-rich-quick schemes. The old woman connected to your house blessing will continue to appear in your path as confirmation. Embrace this provision journey with both humility and confidence, showing others that recognizing Jesus' housing blessings comes from staying connected to him daily through prayer and practical action. Picture a future where you consistently recognize Jesus' provision signs all around your housing journey. Imagine divine doors opening unexpectedly in the real estate market, housing opportunities arriving precisely when needed, and your understanding of heavenly provision expanding beyond anything you've experienced before with property and homes. Jesus stands with you, encouraging you to embrace this housing journey with complete trust. This is truly your moment to experience deeper divine connection through recognizing his housing provisions. This marks the beginning of a time when your housing perception, provision, wisdom, and heart will be more aligned with heaven than ever before. Accept this house blessing with gratitude and remember that you're surrounded by divine support on this home ownership journey. The path ahead holds countless opportunities to experience Jesus' guidance through housing signs that will become increasingly clear to your spiritually attuned eyes. What joy awaits as you learn to read the divine language of provision all around your housing future. The old woman will continue to facilitate these blessings as you remain faithful and watchful. If this housing message has awakened something in your spirit about divine provision, please consider blessing our channel with a super thanks of $5, $10 or $20, or whatever amount feels right to you. Your support creates a beautiful spiritual exchange and allows us to continue sharing these divine housing revelations with those who need them most. Your generosity helps fund our mission to help others recognize the housing signs Jesus is revealing in these expensive housing times. If you're ready to acknowledge that you've been seeing signs about your new house and commit to watching for the old woman's appearance, type 444 in the comments below as your declaration of housing provision awareness. The journey of recognizing divine housing provision continues beyond this revelation about the house sealed under your name. As you step into new provision awareness, stay grounded in scripture and prayer that keeps your housing discernment sharp and accurate. Every housing sign you recognize could be the exact confirmation someone else has been waiting to see about their own home blessing. Your growing spiritual sensitivity to provision serves as inspiration for others wondering if Jesus still provides. Homes and housing solutions today. Move forward with an attentive heart, a watchful mind, and a responsive spirit ready to receive your house blessing when the timing is perfect. Create opportunities for others to recognize housing provision signs as you enjoy the home clarity coming your way. The spiritual language of provision and housing blessings has always been part of how Jesus cares for those who love him. By choosing to pay attention to housing signs, you join a long tradition of faithful followers who have learned to recognize his provision voice in everything around them. The old woman connected to your house blessing is already working behind the scenes to prepare your home transfer and ensure everything aligns perfectly for your housing breakthrough moment.